My friends and I decided to camp deep in the forest, far from any roads or other people. The place was silent except for the wind moving through the tall trees. Around midnight I woke up to the sound of slow footsteps outside our tent. First I thought it was an animal wandering around, but the footsteps sounded too careful, too slow, like someone trying not to be heard. I whispered to my friend Mark, asking if he heard it too. He nodded silently. The footsteps stopped right beside the tent. For a long moment nothing happened. Then something gently touched the outside fabric. The touch slowly moved across the tent wall, like fingers dragging over it. My heart flashlight but hesitated to turn it on. Suddenly, a quiet whisper came from outside the pounded so loudly I thought whoever was outside could hear it. Mark reached for the It softly said my name. Froze completely. None of my friends outside the tent knew my full name except Mark. I slowly leaned closer to him and whispered if he had told anyone we were here.
Did you hear that?
He shook his head nervously. The whisper came again, this time closer to the tent door. It sounded exactly like my brother's voice. Without thinking, Mark quickly unzipped the tent and shined the flashlight outside. The forest looked completely empty. Tall trees stood silently around us and the wind gently moved their branches. There were no footprints, no animals, no people anywhere near the But something strange caught my attention. About 20 feet away, tied to a tree. Seen it earlier when we set up camp. The doll's face had been carved roughly, but the mouth was scratched open wide like it was screaming. Years ago, a park ranger shared a story with me about something that happened during one of his patrols deep in the woods. He was checking an old hiking trail that very few people used anymore. As the sun was setting, he noticed smoke rising in the distance. Thinking someone had started an illegal campfire, he walked toward it. After nearly 15 minutes of hiking through thick trees, he reached a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a campfire, but there was no one around it. The strange part was that the fire looked freshly lit. The ranger called out several times, expecting a camper to respond, but the forest stayed silent. As he stepped closer to the fire, he noticed something even stranger. Around the fire were 5 camping chairs arranged in a perfect circle. Each chair faced the fire like people had been sitting there together. But every chair was empty. Then he heard a twig snap somewhere behind him. He quickly turned around and shined his flashlight into the dark trees. For a brief second, he thought he saw a person standing behind one of the trunks.
Hey!
He shouted and walked toward the tree, but when he reached it, no one was there. Suddenly, he heard another twig snap on the opposite side of the clearing. It sounded like someone was slowly circling him just beyond the light. The ranger backed away toward the fire, trying to keep the flashlight moving across the trees. Then the fire suddenly went out as if someone had poured water on it. The clearing fell into complete darkness. In that silence he heard several quiet footsteps running away in different directions at the same time. When I was younger, my cousin and I decided to explore a remote part of the forest behind his grandparents' cabin. The area was known for being extremely quiet and rarely visited. After walking for almost an hour, we found something strange.